off topic, but it looks like you spent some of your bye week with Coach Gruden. Just
Yep.
Was there more than just dropping off that care package? What went down with you guys?
Yeah, so Coach Gruden and I met this summer, and obviously, Coach just likes talking ball. We met down in Mobile at the Senior Bowl golf tournament, and so I've just stayed in touch. And during I think it was 2 weeks before the bye week, I reached out to him and just said, "Hey, I'm thinking about coming down there and just talking some ideas." So Coach is great with stuff like that. I just sent him some kind of a request list of some things I'd like to talk about with him, and he's got more film than NFLfilms.com. So he's unbelievable, man. But no, it was great.
Go to Chase on the far left there.
A lot of staffs like to use the idle week to self-evaluate and look for tendencies that they can break so that other teams can't scout them as easily. Is that something y'all engage in? And if so, how did that go?
Yep, we did. I can't tell you anything we found. That would be silly of me, but we certainly did that, and there's plenty to work on. I think that's the big thing. The guys know that. Was really impressed with the practice that we had yesterday. Some of the things that we've addressed with the guys that we got to continue to get better at. I think that's where it starts. Is there's a belief that improvement can still happen at this portion of the season, and certainly our guys believe that.
Go to Nick on the far right.
Yeah, talking to you for the first time since South Carolina, what was your kind of vantage point, how the last few minutes went after the way the game had gone before that?
Well, I think I mentioned it before, I just thought our guys, that was probably one of our biggest growth moments of the season was the fourth quarter of that game. Certainly, that could have been reminiscent of the Florida State game and, the guys not being able to find a way to get it done and make the plays that had to be made late in a football game. And just give a ton of credit to the guys, just the resiliency and the mindset to be able to go make those plays. Because I think it's easier said than done. You can get in a state of mind when things aren't working that you just fall back into like it's not going to work. And I thought they, were very coachable on the sideline. I thought their approach to every series was that it was going to happen on this series. So they didn't let previous failures lead into that next series. And I just that's the growth that I think this team's had with guys like Parker and Ty, moving into those roles and really establishing what it was going to feel like when we went back out on the field. And Ty really did a good job leading the guys to the sideline.
Go to Hunter on the left side.
Yeah, just how would you assess Ryan Williams' growth over the last few weeks, both on and off the field?
Ryan's been great. He's, I think everybody saw his reaction on the fourth down play where, he had a tough catch and didn't make it, and he'd made so much progress, I think, in the last 2 weeks catching the football. But I think there's things in the blocking scheme where Ryan has been more involved in making sure he's on the field when we're running the football as well. And I think Ryan's as hard on himself as anybody. So for us, just keeping Ryan engaged and being here, being in the building, staying active in his preparation.
Got a question from the back middle, Alex.
There's probably no absolutes, but when you look at the running game, are you seeing a lack of vision? Are you seeing a lack of blocking? Where's the disconnect between what you guys are calling and getting the production on the field?
Well, it's all, it's not one thing. It never is, whether it's pass protection, run blocking, all those things work together. So for us, I think, it's runners pushing the hole enough, make sure that we're pressing the cut long enough. It's the type of double teams, it's the execution of the double teams. And so certainly, from the previous question, that's obviously one of the things that we've spent a lot of time on evaluating types of runs, the type of double team, how we're coaching those things, how we're talking to the guys, the communication at the line of scrimmage, everything was up for grabs. So for us, I think reassessing some of the things that we do well and that we execute at a high level and that the guys, that it pretty much, suits the runners that we have. So we've really looked at that, and I think the last two practices have done a really, really good job on that.
Go to Colin on the front row on the left.
Kind of in that same vein, the LSU game last year was kind of this, time for Alabama to kind of emerge in the run game, and I'm curious about what your message is to a guy like Jam or Daniel Hill, guys that could see an opportunity to kind of break through and kind of set the tone for the rest of the November in the run game.
Well, I think it's each room. There's a message that has to happen. Just about getting excited about running the football. I think there's a piece there too for the coaching staff that it can't be the woe is me, like dog cussing them every time something doesn't work. It's got to be like, let's get excited about running the friggin' ball. Let's get excited about fixing some of the issues that we clearly are seeing on film, and let's go out there and flex on some people a little bit. And I think that the guys have kind of taken that, mentality going into this game that, we can run the ball and we can be effective doing it, not just like a subpar average team. We can run it well. And I'm looking for the guys to go out there and prove that.
All right, we'll finish up with Katie, second row on the left.
You obviously can't tell us the stuff you saw on self-scout, but just kind of what are some of the areas for the offense, if it is like a run game or anything that you want to see the biggest improvement coming out of the bye for this last month of the regular season?
Yeah, schematically, there'd be nothing I'd mention there, but I think I wish I had something cooler to tell you guys, but really the reality is I told the guys very few football games in my career have we got done with the game and been like, man, I wish I had had more flood concepts in, or I wish I'd had more inside zone concepts. Typically, it's like we need to block better, we got to tackle better, right? So for us, it's always coming back to basics. So for us, the blocking circuits, the ball security circuits, take care of the football, all the things that really are the grind of the season that you never want to be very far away from. And so for our guys, keeping them in tune with that like we are every week and letting them know that football games in the fourth quarter, some of the throws that Ty made were accompanied by really good pass protection. Some of the run hits that happened at really key moments at the end of the game were really good technique on blocking. So just keeping the guys in tune with that has to continue to improve. I thought one of the things we've done a good job of through the season so far is taking care of the ball. So yesterday there was a couple moments where I didn't feel like we were protecting the ball the way we have, and those things were addressed. So for our guys, just realizing how important the details of all the type of schematics that go into just drill structure and getting great at those things. And our guys believe in that too. It's not I never feel like I'm wasting my breath when we show clips or talk to the guys about pad level, double teams, foot placement, hand placement, where am I putting my hands when I'm catching the football. So felt great about that. I felt great about the guys' reaction to it.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.